With Redtail, getting data out of the system is a piece of cake. I can use reporting, I can use exporting. If I go to the opportunities page at any time, I can go ahead and click export, or I can click on this Acrobat icon to push out my data to a PDF or an Excel. But the question is in this session, how do I get information into the system? If I want to get this opportunities page, a full page of all of my sales pipeline, because I know there's more than 3 in there, I know there's more than 13, but I don't want to go one by one and click new opportunity and add the extra 10. How do I get those other opportunities into the system in mass? And it's also a piece of cake, just like getting data out of the system is just a click. Getting data into the system is very seamless as well. It's just kind of like you don't know what you don't know. So sitting in on this session, you're going to be able to learn all of the 3 ways today I'm going to share to go ahead and take data that you might have somewhere. Maybe it's on your computer, in your drive, maybe it's in another CRM, maybe that information is with your broker dealer or your planning software or your form filling software. Wherever that information is, I'm going to show you 3 ways that we have for you to get that information into the system. So the very first thing that I want to start with, my very first way that I want to show you is the import way, which is honestly a very, very common method that I find people take information and give it to us to import it into the system. So I'll start with the most popular option that I see most frequently, and that is going to be our automated Excel sheet. So if I go ahead and open up this sheet, I'll share it here in just a moment. And I'm going to zoom in as well, just because it'll definitely be hard to see at the moment. Okay, perfect. So now you should be able to see my screen for the Excel document. But like I said, I'm going to go down to go ahead and zoom in so I can make it more clear. Okay, perfect. So in the very first section here, you're going to notice that there is a yellow bar across with all of these fields that are within Redtail. So here is where you could go ahead and take all of some contacts that you have. Maybe there's some businesses, associations, maybe they're trusts or unions that you want to get into the system. You could go ahead and put them here within this Excel document, send it back to us at Redtail, and we'll import all of that data into your system. So this document goes on. If I go through this, I'll just kind of try to scroll slowly here. We'll see all the way what letter it goes to, but A through Z is 26. So right here at job title, that's already 26 fields. So we can just continue on and on. If you want to import contacts into the system, this sheet is a great way because it takes so many of the fields that are within Redtail and it pushes it to this Excel document. So then you could go ahead and put all that good, clean data that you have and you can put it into this Excel document and then we could import it into your system. So feel free to check this out as an option. A lot of offices really like to use this for user-defined fields, for keywords. Like I said, a lot of what you're looking to import is going to be found on this sheet. That's why I wanted to start with this one first. The next import sheet that I want to show off here, because right now we're showing the very first way to import, information, and that's the import way. And I'm going to be showing you a total of 5 Excel sheets that you can use to import this way. So the one that I just showed that's on your screen right now, that's the first of the 5. We'll go ahead and show you the second one. All right, this second one that I'm going to show you, this one has to do with your calendar. So a lot of the times we find that offices are using a different calendar for their contacts. So this specific one gives you the ability to take activities which go on your calendar, and it allows you to take those activities that you might have and put them into this specific Excel sheet that I'm showing right now. And it allows you to put them here, one time, one stop shop, put them here, and then we can go ahead and import them into your calendar. So this one is very common. It's very easy to go ahead and put here that you want to put in a client review. I want it to be open, or sorry, the date here would, you would put the date here, and then you would put the subject here. So this is a really easy way if you want to maybe get reviews into your system, maybe you want to get birthdays, whatever you're looking to get into your calendar, this would be the import sheet that you're looking for. The next one we're going to show will be the kind of opposite of that, because remember, activities go on your calendar, so they're going to be anything that's in the future, where what I'm showing right now is going to be a notes import. So notes are for history, something just happened, you just had a phone call, you just sent an email, you just made a trade request. You're always going to want to add that into the system as a note for history. So this import sheet assumes that maybe you haven't been getting your notes into the system. Maybe you are physically taking your notes down on a legal pad, or maybe you are using a different Excel sheet or a Word document to store your notes. And now you want to take those notes and archive and store them in the CRM. So then we can search on them and refer to that history all in one place. So if you're interested in doing something like that, this notes Excel sheet is going to be what you're looking for. This gives you the opportunity to put in the date of the note, the category, the body, and all of that information here. And then you could go ahead and send this back to us, and we'll import that into your system. Now, when you see Redtail username, that's going to be assuming who do you want this note to be added by. So if this first note was added by Tabitha, and the second note was added by Tucker, and these are all usernames in your system, then you can go ahead and list that here, and we'll go ahead and user stamp that note from whatever was entered here. And over here for client ID, this was also on the activity import sheet. And what the client ID and tax ID here, obviously tax ID, you can put in that client's tax ID number, and we'll go ahead and match that up to whatever's in the system, and we'll store it there. But if you wanted to use the client ID, I'll be able to visually show this when I show you the second way to import information, because it'll come out automatically. But essentially, every single person in your system has their own client ID. So when we are storing Gordon Ramsay in your system, we're not storing the first name Gordon and the last name Ramsay. What we're doing is we're creating a client ID for that person. We're creating a client ID number 2467943, and that's Gordon Ramsay. So you do have the ability to capture those client ID numbers, maybe it's just one person you want to import these notes for, then we have the ability to bring out that one person's client ID, put it here in all of the columns that we want to import notes for, and then we can put the notes and send it back to us, and we'll import all those notes into that person's record. So that's kind of an explanation of these fields, but feel free if you're in the moment filling out these fields and you're like, what in the world does this field mean? What is the best practice to put in the information in this one? Always feel free to give our team a call at any time in the moment, and we're more than happy to look at your screen and explain and demonstrate anything that you're looking to see. So definitely look for that if you have any questions while you're in the moment. The next spreadsheet that I'm going to show you is going to be for your accounts or your assets. So maybe you have all of your assets archived and stored in another system, and you want to go ahead and move all of that data from that system into Redtail. A great example here is something like insurance, because most insurances don't feed over automatically into Redtail. So a lot of offices will choose to go ahead and do a data dump of all of their insurance accounts and put all of those, kind of copy and paste all of those accounts into this spreadsheet. And then you can send that back to us at Redtail. We'll import that into your system. But then, insurances only change annually typically. So those offices will just once a year, once that value changes, they'll go in and manually adjust it. Because you have to remember that anything that you're going ahead and importing using this spreadsheet is most likely going to be a static value. So usually what offices are doing for accounts is using a data aggregator or custodian, because that'll automatically feed your accounts into Redtail and update at the end of each night. Where if you use this, we're going to import it into your system, but it's never going to update unless you manually update it. So it's kind of like a static value. It's just sitting there and it won't change unless you change it. So it is a great way to get something like insurance accounts in, or maybe you just have a certain circumstance like that where you just want to en masse get accounts in, and it's okay if they don't change unless you change it. Then this is exactly the sheet that you're looking for. Feel free to put in the account ID number, the status, the type, all of that right here, and we're more than happy to import that into your system. Now, I was definitely going to mention this at the end, but I'm more than sure that questions have came up already about how long it takes for us to take this information and import it into your system. And if you are really looking for a time estimate before you get these imports started, then definitely give our team a call, and we're happy to give you the most accurate estimate, because it'll be different depending on our load. So if you are, on a strict deadline, you need to get these accounts in by a certain time, and you want to know if that's possible, feel free to give our team a call and ask how long would it take for us to get this imported, and we're more than happy to share that exact time frame. The next spreadsheet that I want to share here, this one has to do with your sales pipeline. So this one is all for your opportunities. So when I began this webinar, I first started off by going to the opportunities page, and I showed how simple it is to go ahead and click on export or click on the Acrobat icon and take all those opportunities and export them out of your system. But this spreadsheet that we're showing right now, this would be the way to go ahead and get opportunities into that sales pipeline. So maybe, this morning you bought a prospect list, a call list of 500, and you want to take all of those and you want to import them into your system, or you want to take the top 5 of them that are getting hot and import them into your system, then you're going to want to use this spreadsheet, because instead of clicking on new opportunity, typing in the first one, hitting save, going to new opportunity, typing in the second one, hitting save, you have the chance here to paste all of those contacts that you maybe purchased, or that lead list that you purchased, and paste them into this spreadsheet. And then same thing, we'll import those into your opportunities tool. So remember, your opportunities tool is your sales pipeline for either new business or existing business. So if you open up your opportunities tab right now and it's empty, and you're like, that's not accurate, because I have a whole Excel sheet of all of these prospects and all of the places that they are at in my sales cycle, and you want to get those from that Excel sheet into Redtail, then feel free to go ahead and use this spreadsheet. If you are keeping it in an Excel sheet, that's great, because you can kind of copy and paste those fields. If they're on a legal pad, you'll probably have to physically type all of the information here. But this is a great, awesome way to take all of that information that's somewhere else and get that inside of Redtail. So that's it for the very first way that I wanted to show you to import data into your system, and that's through import sheets, or import templates is what we call them. So there were 5 templates that I showed you. I showed you the opportunity template. I showed you the activity and notes template. I also showed the automated Excel import, and then we also have the account import. So we have a lot of different imports there. Like I said, there were a total of 5 there that I showed you. So if one of these are a good fit and you're like, wow, that's exactly what I was looking for, I wanted to take all of my prospects and import them in quickly, then feel free to access these documents. If where you found this webinar is going to be on our help desk, and underneath training sessions, you found this training session by clicking on that question mark and clicking on our Redtail help desk. There is a tile here that says training sessions, and underneath our live webinars, we put all of our recorded ones, and you were able to access this one that we just viewed or that we just are watching right now. And if you want to access any of these import sheets, we're going to put all of these import sheets underneath this article. So if you're very, very interested in these spreadsheets and you want to know where to find them, you could always give our team a call, and of course we're happy to share it, but you can always also go to our help desk and find it by accessing this recording, and it'll be located at the very, very bottom of this article. So feel free to go ahead and access the documents that way. Now let's move on to the second way to get data into the system. So this one is honestly my favorite way. When I found out that this was possible, I was jumping up and down. I was like, this is amazing. I absolutely love this freedom and power and ability to go ahead and do this next action. So the next one that we're going to talk about is called custom export. So whenever you see export in Redtail, just think Excel. So what we're making right now is we're making a custom Excel sheet of some specific fields that we want to import into the system. And then we're pushing those fields into an Excel document, and then we can fix all of those fields, send it back to us at Redtail, and we'll update your system just like the very first way that we talked about. So let's say that I go here to contacts on the left, and I go to advanced search tab at the top. And I've been doing account forms now for about a month using one of our partners. And I find that whenever I'm pushing over information to those account forms, that the driver's license number field is always empty. And I know that I have driver's license numbers on file somewhere in the office, but when I go to contact records in Redtail, the driver's license field is always empty for those people. So right now, my problem is that I have driver's license numbers in my office, but they're not in Redtail, and I want to get them into Redtail so it's more seamless. So what I can do here first is run a search to pull up everyone that's missing their driver's license number. So I went ahead and select is empty as the operand because is empty is going to cast a net over bad data. So I'm going to cast a net over all of that bad data of those missing driver's license numbers. So for type, I'm going to go down here to select identification because I'm going to choose number as the field because right now I want to pull up everyone who's missing that ID number, that driver's license number. So I was right, I have 174 records that are missing their driver's license numbers, and there are some businesses in here. So let me go ahead and choose and. So I can narrow this down by contact type. So I can go ahead and choose just my people, not those businesses, not those associations, those trusts, or those unions, but just those individuals, those people. All right, so here's 150. That's a little bit more digestible, so I think that's great. If I wanted to narrow this down even further by active clients and maybe even by my top clients of AAA to get a really digestible list first, that's always something I'm going to suggest. If you can break this list out into smaller parts, it's a lot easier on your team or on yourself to work with a list of 25 than it is to work with a list of 150. So feel free to use and here and narrow down your search even further. Maybe you want to narrow it down by status to search just active clients. Maybe you want to go one step further and narrow this down by active AAA clients to work with your top clients first and work your way down. Whatever you want, feel free to use this search to go ahead and find the data that you want to fix. So I'm going to go ahead and save this and name this, missing driver's license numbers for active individuals. And the reason why I'm saving this list is because when I talk about the steps for this custom export, I'm going to talk about how the second step is to apply the export to contacts. And when I apply the export to contacts, I don't want to have to rerun this search over, and I don't want to have to miss something that we talked about right now. So what I did instead is I saved this list, and it saves this search and not this list of names. So all I need to do is click on the recently viewed and choose quick list and choose this list I just created. And it'll go ahead and rerun this search, not saving this list of names, because if I go in here and add a driver's license for Deborah, it'll go ahead and remove her from this list automatically. So, okay, we have a problem here. We have 82 people that we need driver's license numbers for. It's wasting tons of time seeing, forms not in good order because it's missing that driver's license number. So we went ahead and made this search. We saw that 82 people are missing. Now we're going to solve it. So my suggestion isn't to go to Deborah, go over to her identifications area, click edit, type in the number, hit save, go back to the to the search, go to the next person, go to their identification area, hit edit, type in the number, hit save, go to the next person. That's not what I'm going to suggest for you to do. Instead, what I suggest for you to do is to create a custom export by clicking on your name in the top right hand corner and going down to manage your account. So click on your name in the top right hand corner and go to manage your account. And underneath the manage your account area, you're going to have a manage templates area. And you're going to want to look for custom export templates. So we're going to go ahead and choose custom export templates. You probably will not have any here. So we're going to click new in the top right hand corner. And now it's going to go ahead and give us all of the fields within Redtail that we can customize. So maybe I want to get ages on file. Maybe I want to get a servicing advisor on file quickly. Maybe I want to get tax IDs quickly. I have the ability to choose fields here that I want to push to Excel. So I even like to use this if I find that a report has too much information or not enough information. This allows me to customize it to see what I want. But right now I'm going to go ahead and name this, driver's license export. Or I'll do driver's license cleanup for active individuals to match our quick list. And the next thing I want to do is go ahead and choose the fields that I want to push to an Excel document. So you're most likely going to want the first and last name so you know that who you're dealing with. The next thing that you're going to want is all the driver's license number fields. So a good internet trick here is to use Control F, because if you use Control F, depending on what browser you're using, I'm using Chrome. So if I start to type in driver, it's going to go ahead and search all of the places on this page that has that word driver. Because right now, to me, I'm just looking at a wall of text. So by typing in driver using Control F, I'm able to see all of those fields very quickly that I need and check them off. So I went ahead and checked off the number, the state, the expiration, and the issue date. Now the next couple things I'm just going to choose mobile phone, and I'm also going to choose email, because first I'm going to try doing an email campaign to the people that have an email address on file, just letting them know, I'm missing the driver's license number. Whenever they have a chance, just give me a quick call and I'll be able to add that on file. And then also for those people that don't have emails, or for the people that haven't responded yet, I also want to push out their phone numbers, because then I'm just going to smile and dial. I'm going to call the first person, get their driver's license number, hang up, call the second one, get it, put it all in the Excel document and send it back to us. So I'll go ahead and save this. And you do have the ability to order this, like maybe you wanted the emails first, you can pull that up there and go ahead and save this. But what we just did, everyone, is the very first step in this process. The very first step is to create the custom export. So we went up to our name, went to manage your account, went to custom export and created this brand new custom export for the driver's license cleanup. Now, I said earlier that I was going to get back to this today for the second step. And the second step is to apply this export I just created to contacts. So I already did the legwork for this earlier because I already searched all those active individuals that are missing their driver's license numbers. So to do this second step now, all I need to do is click on the recently viewed, choose that quick list tab, and choose missing driver's license numbers for active individuals. Such a long-winded name. You don't need to make it that long, but I just want it to be really super specific. All right, so here are those 82 records. So now that second step is to apply it to these contacts. I'm going to go ahead and choose all of these contacts by choosing that top checkbox and making sure that all are selected using this blue bar. And then I'm going to go over to contact options in the top right-hand corner of this search results box. And I'm going to go down to custom exports. So I'm going to choose all of my contacts, go over to contact options, and then down to custom exports. And now I'm going to go ahead and choose that export I just created in that first step, and it's that driver's license cleanup export. So I'll go ahead and share this. And same thing here, it's very, very zoomed out. So I do have the opportunity to go ahead and zoom in here so it is a little bit more easy to see. But essentially what happened here is it took all of those 82 records, it took their first name, last name, email, phone number, and the driver's license number fields. So then I can go ahead and put in all of that data that I find out into this Excel document. So let's say, I call William Davidson. I call this phone number. William picks up and he tells me his driver's license number, the state, the issue date, and all of that. I could just right within this Excel document, type in the number, type in that issue date, type in the expiration, all of that right here. And then same thing, we could save this to our system and send that back to us at Redtail, and we'll import that data to your system. Now, when you are doing this, I do want to go back to the CRM here and show you what you want to do. Because there's such sensitive information that you're sending over, this is going to apply, if you're sending over driver's license numbers or social security numbers or whatever you want to add an extra layer of security to. The best practice here is not to send that via email, but instead click on the question mark in the top right-hand corner. And you could do this by just calling us, but I'm just showing you a way to do this very quickly online. You can go ahead and choose submit a help ticket and just put, attention welcome team requesting a secure link. And what this will do is it'll send this ticket to our welcome team, and our welcome team is going to create an exclusive link for your username that you can click on and upload that Excel document to. And then we'll take that Excel document securely with that extra tunnel of protection, and then we'll import that information to your system. So this is a best practice. If it's something that's not secure, feel free to just send it to support@redtailtechnology.com. But if it's something like driver's license number that you don't want to send via email, definitely request that secure link via phone call or help ticket. And this is what I was talking about with that client ID number. Like Deborah Allen isn't a Deborah Allen on our end. On our end, we created an ID number called 2732351, and that's Deborah Allen. So on those previous spreadsheets I showed you in the very first way to import data, there was a client ID field. So this would be a way to go ahead and export that client ID field. So then you can say, oh, I'm going to copy this and put it into that notes spreadsheet so I can import all of those notes to Deborah Allen's record. Now this is great. I love, love, love this method just because you could really see the holes in your data. You know, you can see you're missing some email addresses. You're even missing some phone numbers. So even while you're fixing driver's license numbers, you can even type in those phone numbers that are missing. Or you could go ahead and type in that email address that's missing. And then when you send this back to us, we're still going to import it into your system. So feel free to fix anything that you see here that is missing information, and we're more than happy to take that information and update your Redtail with that information that you just typed in. So I honestly love this. Like I said, I was jumping up and down when I found that you can do this. Don't select all of the fields and all of your contacts and task your team to clean up all of that data. It's just evil to honestly to do that because it's just so much work. You know, work in digestible chunks. Say, I want driver's license numbers filled in by this week for these clients, and then we'll move on to the other stuff because it's much more digestible to get 82 people's driver's license numbers than it is to get 275 people's driver's license numbers, phone numbers, emails, you know, addresses, everything all at once. So feel free to use this custom export method. It is a 3-step process. You know, build the export first, apply it to export second, and then send it back to us last. Definitely use that secure link if it's sensitive information. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've made our way to the third and final way to import data into your system. And this was most likely how everyone started in Redtail, and that is by importing data from another CRM. So we do have a number of CRMs that we do import from. So maybe you hired on another advisor and they were using a whole nother CRM that you've never even heard of. And you want to get that information from their system into this one so we can start to collaborate. Then what you want to do is give our team a call and just have that CRM name ready. So then you can share that with us just so we can double check that we do have a script available that will import that in. But like I said, we import with so many of those other CRMs out there. Most likely, if you call our team, we do work with the one that advisor might be using. So give us a call. This method right here that I'm talking about, this would require a specific time and date to be scheduled with our welcome team for them to go ahead and import that information from that CRM. Because what they're going to do is they're going to schedule a time and date with you to go ahead and get that file from that CRM. And then they'll also take any screenshots if they need to and get all of the data that they need. And then they'll let you know how long it'll take, set the expectation up front, letting you know it's going to take me this long to import it in. And then they'll let you know as soon as it's finished. But essentially, you can take all of your information that's in another CRM and import it into Redtail. So that was the third and final way that I wanted to talk about to get data into your system. Remember, the first way was through those 5 import sheets. The second way was through a custom export. And the third way was from another CRM. So we like to kind of open the door for you, give you tons of options. Like I said, give you the power to take all of that information that might be somewhere else and put it into Redtail so everything is compliant, your team can collaborate with it, and everyone can kind of see it, everything in one place. So thank you everyone for joining us today. Definitely feel free to give our team a call if you have any questions on estimated times, or if you have questions on certain fields, or if you want access to this document and you don't know where to find it on help desk. Feel free to give our team a call for any of those reasons or more, and we're more than happy to help. The phone number is 1-800-206-5030, and that's option 3 for support. But otherwise, I want to thank you guys so much for your time today. Hopefully this session added some value to your practice, moving into the future and getting that data all in one place. Otherwise, give us a call if you have any other questions, and have a great rest of the day. Take care.